Step 3, marketing your business, okay? Once you have a company identity, and once you have also an understanding of what you want to name your company and what your slogan would be, what you need to do now is you need to go out and market it to people, all right? And there are in your marketing classes in college, your 5 T's of marketing. We've added a couple. We've also put some Q's because I think in business you have to mind your P's and your Q's, right? So therefore, let's look at it. Your place, where your business is. I knew a restaurant that went out of business because they went 1.5 miles away. They were doing a thriving business in a strip center. They decided they were going to create their own, build their own building. And so therefore they did, about 1.5 miles away. It was all by itself, and they died. And they went out of business about 8 months later. Because there wasn't that traffic all the time. People, it was a destination point now to that restaurant. Before, I was picking up it was right next to a Desert School Credit Union, the school credit union. And so therefore, everybody was going there for lunch or whatever. And now they said, boy, we've got a great clientele, let's go and build our own nice building and everything else. Get out of the strip center, and all of a sudden they lost their business. So you have to be careful where you're at. Make sure that you've got good parking. Make sure that it's visible, those kinds of things. Make sure that you have a good product. Okay? If you don't have a good product, people won't come back. I don't care where you're at. Okay? Make sure your price is either in the ballpark for your position. Don't worry that you're higher than the person down the street. You better service better. You better guarantee better. You better follow up better. Don't be threatened by the big boys. What you have to do is that you have to come in and say, we do it better. That's why you're coming back. You have to make sure that you get the 20% of your business that brings in 80% of the customers, 20% of your customers that bring in 80% of your business, and treat those customers like royalty. Have wine and cheese parties for them. Go through your customer list and say, this is the 20% that brings in 80% of my business. How am I taking care of these people? You do that, you don't have to worry about the competition. Folks, the greatest competition that you have is yourself. Because if somebody comes into town and then leaves, you're going to have somebody else come into town and then they'll leave. You'll have somebody else. Again, don't worry about that. Don't look over your shoulder. Look ahead and try to look into the eyes of your customers, listen to your customers, find out what they need, treat them. You'll have them coming back. You develop a relationship with your customers, they won't go anywhere else. You know their names, you know their children's names, you know where their children are going to college. You develop that kind of relationship. Why should they go to somebody else that can care less who they are? That all they want is the money. That's a relationship selling, and you have to do that. Promotion, you have to do that kind of promotion on a regular basis. Promote, all right? Tell people what you have. The greatest promoter that I know is McDonald's. They're always promoting. They're always having something going on, and people like that. If you don't have some kind of promotion going on in your store, you become stale. So have some kind of promotion. And if you get tired of doing it, then give the responsibility to your people, your employees, and have them create some kind of promotion. Wilson's Leathers does that. My son comes home and says, Dad, I'm in charge of this month's promotion. What should I do? We sit down and we start thinking of some things. He gets excited about it. He tells the other people, and that's salesmanship. So don't take that responsibility on yourself all the time. Give it to other people. Delegate. Build your people. It's important. Packaging, very important. Orida did a study, changed the color of a package, and it increased sales by 30%. The color of it. Blue seems to be a very big color, right? Because it's very soothing and that kind of a thing. So packaging is so very important. Publicity, make sure that you get as much as you possibly can. Write letters and send news releases to the newspapers. No, they're not all going to get published, but send them. Let them know what's happening in your business. Try to get some of that publicity. If you don't send it, certainly it won't be published. Quantity and quality, make sure that you have both, all right? I was driving from Phoenix to Los Angeles. Actually, I was headed to the airport. I was going to fly. At the last moment, I decided I would drive over. It's about a 7-hour trip. And by the time you rent a car and get to the airport and everything else, it's almost like a 4-hour ordeal. So I decided I would just go ahead and drive over. Well, I got halfway there, crossing the desert between Phoenix and California, And I realized it didn't have any water. You don't like to travel the desert without water in the middle of the summer. And so therefore I said, as soon as I get to Blythe, Arizona, which is halfway between right on the border, Colorado River there, I said, I'm going to get some water. So I pulled in, got some gas at one of these convenience markets, and I went up, paid for it, and I said, I'd like a jug of water. I don't see it on the counters over here. She said, you know what? We just can't keep enough of that. And I said, well, why don't you order more? And she said, I don't know why they don't order more. We can sell a ton of it. And I said, gee whiz, you know, here's a business, and the public needs it, and they don't supply it. Something's wrong somewhere. How many times have you gone into a business and they say, boy, yeah, we just ran out of that. Boy, they've had requests all day long for that. So make sure that you have what you advertise. There's nothing worse than having an individual company advertise, and then you go out to that particular company and you look for the product and they don't have it. Make sure you have it. And that takes a little bit of understanding of how to figure out how many you're going to sell. That's good retailing. Other ways to further market your business. Contests, have your contests. Trade shows. Go to trade shows, find out what's happening. Customer appreciation days. How many have a customer appreciation day for your business? Okay, you do? Okay, how often do you have that, John?
Well, 2 or 3 times a year we offer extra discounts for our
Your top. Okay.
sales.
Fantastic. They appreciate that? Yeah. All right. Yeah, they do. I'm a preferred customer, huh? Okay. Have customer appreciation days. Again, you don't have to do it for everybody. Find that 20% that brings in 80%. It's called the Pareto principle. It applies to so many things. The Pareto principle, 20% will do 80% of the work. 20% of your customers will bring in 80% of your revenue. Is that the case with your business? You've got certain customers that they're always there. And you've got a lot of others that come in every once in a while. And you take care of those customers. Do they send you thank you notes, or do they somehow tell you that they appreciate that?
They express it to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have special hours for that?
Sometimes we open up an hour early.
For them? Okay. Yeah, I'm a preferred customer. I get best selection. Hey, thanks for taking care of it. Yeah, do those kinds of things, okay? Suggestion boxes, all of those kinds of things are so very important.